Hi, hey everybody. Welcome to another episode of RV Tips and Trips. Today, I just received my new battery. I came by UPS. I ordered it on Amazon, and what a great deal it is. I have a lot of high expectations for it because it's had a lot of really good reviews everywhere that I've looked. So ordered on Amazon, and I really lucked out because they also had a $50 off coupon. I mean, at that point I couldn't resist buying it. But it's a lithium ion battery by Weize, and it's 100 amp hour 12 volt battery. So it's a 4-cell lithium battery. So we're going to open it up. So styrofoam padding. Looks like we got these are the bolts for the terminals. Nice. But it looks like it was pretty well protected. I like the way it was packaged. So they took a lot of care in packaging this. So let's take her on out. Real nice foam rubber. So there's a little user manual. And there is a carrying strap. Really awesome. Now the first thing that really impressed me too was how light this package was. The shipping weight was 26.5 pounds. So you can put a maximum of 4 of these in series or in parallel to one another. Alright, so these little protective caps come off. Alright. And you're going to put these screws in place of those caps. Alright, so they are not your regular standard like car battery terminals. And there you go. I said 26 pounds. Not bad. 12.8 volts, 100 amp hours. So, and battery looks to be like it survived shipping just fine. So the first thing you got to do is you need to charge the battery fully and then install it. Now it does require a special lithium charger, which I don't have, but I'm going to use my portable solar system, set it to lithium, and then charge this battery up. I got this battery because it's a lot lighter. I have 3 AGM batteries in my rig right now. And it is, I mean, they're really heavy. They're 65 pounds each. And so between 3 of them, that gives me a 190 pounds. So I'm going to put this battery in place of those, and this is 25 pounds, so 190 pounds minus the 25 pounds there. So I'm going to save a lot of weight. I need to reduce the weight of my rig, and this is one way of accomplishing it. Also, one of these batteries is like the equivalent of the 2 AGM batteries. So 100 amp hours, it can supply 100 amps for 1 hour. That's what the amp hours mean. So if your current draw is 50 amps, then you can It'll supply 50 amps for 2 hours, 10 amps at 10 hours. So nice thing about lithium ion batteries, you can take it all the way down and then recharge it. Weize guarantees the battery 2,000 cycles if you were to fully discharge the battery each time. If you only charge it halfway or discharge it halfway each time, they say 8,000 cycles. And nice thing about Weize too is they have a 10-year warranty on their battery. So you got to watch a lot of these lithium ion batteries that you see out there are, you know, they say, oh, last 10 years, but they only guarantee them like 1, 2, or 3 years. So you got to really watch what you're doing there. The Weize, like I said, has a lot of really good reviews on it, so that's why I went with it. And of course, a discount coupon certainly helped with that decision. All right, so next step I'm going to do is charge this battery. I'm going to drag out my portable solar system and top off the battery. All right, so what I want to do before I put this on the charger is to see what the battery voltage is now. All right, so the voltage is 13.25, which is an 80% charge. So now we're going to top it off the rest of the way by hooking it up to the solar system and bringing it up to 100%. And then we'll get it charging, and then I'll talk about other factors into why I decided to go with a lithium ion battery. So. All right, so charging up nicely. When the sun is full strength, it hits up around 10 amps charging, and it shows lithium is selected. All right, so out of the box, right out of the box, I got 13.25 volts on the lithium battery. That means the battery was charged at 80% is what was in there, so we're going to bring it on up to 100%. All right, so here's the thing. I said out of the box, this was already at 13.25 volts with no load. So we're going to top it off now. And I don't have a lithium ion charger, but my solar panels are capable of charging lithium ion batteries. So I set that to lithium ion. Now we're charging this. A regular charger will not work for these kind of batteries because they require a higher charge voltage to fully charge them. So charge voltage is right around 14.4 to 14.6 volts max. The charger that is built into most RVs like mine are designed for lead acid batteries, and there's no way to change the mode, and those are 2-stage chargers, so they would never ever bring this battery up to full charge. So you have to get a charger that is capable of charging lithium ion batteries. Either if you got a solar system set up, most of those are going to be compatible, and the solar system can charge it. That's what I'm going to do here. If you don't have solar and you got a regular RV converter, you're going to need to upgrade that converter so it can charge lithium batteries. Otherwise, you're never going to bring the battery up to charge, and you'll just ruin it over time. Alright, so some of the features of this battery which really impressed me for the price point. I said these, I can't say how much exactly I paid for it. It's against the terms of service for Amazon, so I don't want to get in trouble there. But this ran less than half the cost of a Battleborn. Now Battleborns are great, 10-year warranty on those. This also has a 10-year warranty. Battleborn, if you do what's called the DOD, which is depth of discharge. That's what that means. If you do 50% discharge each time, you'll get 10,000 cycles out of the battery. Cycles is each time you charge it. So that's what a cycle is. If you take, well, this battery here, same thing. If you just charge it, or I'm sorry, discharge it by 50% and then recharge it, that's a cycle. It can do that about 8,000 times. So not quite as much as the Battlehorn, but boy, it's up there. 8,000 cycles, that is a long, long time, okay, at 50%. If you were to take this battery all the way down to 10%, you can't take it below 10% because there's a computer monitor built into the battery that won't let you take it below 10%. So you can discharge it all the way down to 10% and then recharge it. And if you did that each and every time, you still get 2,000 cycles out of this battery, which is really good. So the other thing is the control circuitry in here protects this from overcharging. It'll disconnect the battery. If it starts running hot, then the circuit will stop the charging process, or depending on what's going on, or the discharging cycle, will just disconnect the battery until the temperature comes back down. But it also has low temperature cutoff. Lithium ion batteries don't tolerate cold very well. So number one, if you're going to use this in a very cold environment, you'll need to put this in an area of the RV that's heated somewhat so it doesn't go below freezing. If you go below freezing and you try and charge the battery, you'll ruin the battery. Now, this battery has a low temperature sensor, and when the battery gets down near freezing, it stops the charging process altogether, which is good. So a lot of them out there don't have that feature. If you're going to be in warm weather all the time, then that feature won't matter to you. But if you use this up in the north and it gets cold, you definitely want a battery with the BMS that has a low temperature sensor. Now the battery can still provide energy below freezing, and then when it gets down much below that, another 20 degrees below that, it will then cut the battery off altogether to protect itself. So nice safety features built into this. So far the construction looks good, and no, I am not going to take it apart. Some channels, you know, they take them apart. I'm not going to do that because I want to use this battery. But the case seems to be well made, seems sturdy, and so we're going to have to do this review in two parts. I mean, I'll show you the installation and like I said, my initial impressions of this battery so far. So once I charge it, I'll install it in the rig and I'll show you that. But I'll also do a part two after using this for a month or so. And what I'll do is I'll create situations just as if we were boondocking. Now, if this battery works out well, my thought would be to then get a second one and put it parallel, and that would give me 200 amp hours total capacity, and that's all I'm going to need, because that's truly 200 amp hours that's available. See, the AGM batteries, mine are Duracell Platinums, and they're 92 amp hours. So, but with AGMs, and the same thing with the wet cell batteries as well, regular lead acid batteries, that you can't really go below 50% of their charge. If you do that, you'll end up shortening the life of those batteries. So 92 amp hours, you can only use half the battery, so now that takes you down to 45, 46 amp hours that's usable, whereas this is 100% usable or 90% usable. So one of these would be the equivalent of two of my AGM batteries, which is pretty good. So 190 pounds worth of AGM batteries ultimately will be replaced by 2 of these, which would then be 50 pounds. That means I get rid of 140 pounds off the front of the trailer. So that's a significant weight loss. So I'm doing everything I can to reduce the weight of the trailer, because we have been overweight for quite some time, and trying to get those weights down. Alright, so 10-year warranty. This battery should last us the rest of our RVing life, I think, because it can actually go beyond 10 years if we only discharge it 50% of the time, down by 50%, and then sometimes discharging it all the way depending on the situation. I'm still going to get somewhere between 2,000 and 8,000 cycles. That's a very long time. Figured there's only 365 days in a year. 8,000 cycles. That's a lot of years. All right, and then the other nice thing too, besides being less weight, is that there's no liquid in it, and so it doesn't matter how you mount the battery. You can lay it on its side or whatever. It's not going to leak. So a lot of pluses to it. Life, weight, and the way you install it. Now the other big plus on this too is the voltage stays constant up at the 12.8 volt level, 13 volts, and then doesn't fall off until you get down to near the 10%. Then the battery voltage drops. Where, like with the AGMs, the voltage constantly drops over time as you use the battery. So this will power things much better by holding the voltage constant instead of tapering off over time.
All right, so here's my battery bank, which consists of 3 AGM batteries in parallel. And so they're all 92 amp hours each. But they weigh 65 pounds each. And I've had these for about 3.5 years now. Manufacture date is August 18. When you put batteries like this in parallel, you want to get all the same age battery, which is what I did 3.5 years ago. So I'm going to replace them now with the one lithium battery, which is basically the equivalent of 2 of these. So I'm going to turn off the converter and then disconnect these batteries and install the new battery and get rid of a lot of weight. So I got the batteries out. What I did is I turned off the battery disconnect and then verified that there was nothing coming through the line anymore, and there isn't. If I shut off the power, the converter, the air conditioners quit because the thermostats run off the 12 volt line. So couldn't do that. But if I left the converter on and turned this switch off, this just disconnects the batteries. So the 12 volts is still running everything else. The lights and the thermostats that run the air conditioners are running off the converter. So let me tell you, these weigh a ton. Lifting these guys out of that compartment, really big weight difference, that's for sure. And then it's going to give me more room in the cabinet here too. So the weight of that battery was kind of breaking this, as you can see here, just in this corner though. The rest of it is still good. Look at that. When they build these things, they're screws, but there are no screws holding this in. They never screwed this in, which would have given it more strength. But all right, so now it's time to drop in the new battery. All right, so there's the lithium battery installed in there. And takes up a lot less room. I just stuffed this alongside so it doesn't bounce around over here. That battery box, the battery does not fit in it because these lithium batteries tend to be in a little larger casing than the regular batteries. So lots of room available. We can in the future add another battery, which I think I'll do in the next few months, and then the 2 batteries will give me 200 amp hour capability, and that should be more than enough for my needs. All right, so that concludes this part of the review. That was part 1. Part 2 will be a month or 2 down the road, so I can give you my honest opinion on how this battery performs, because I will do some boondocking with it. All right, until next time, happy camping. Bye now. Thomas says thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Until next time, happy camping.